Now, there's been another wave of violent protests in the United States in response to Sunday's shooting of a 29-year-old black man in the city of Kenosha in Wisconsin. Well, Jacob Blake was shot 7 times in the back at point-blank range while 3 of his children looked on. Well, the white police officer who shot him has been named, and Kenosha city officials have ordered an overnight curfew in the hope of restoring calm to the city. Well, France 24's correspondent in Washington, Kethevane Gorjestani, joins us now. Kethevane, what more have we found out about just what happened during that shooting on Sunday?
Well, the Wisconsin investigators finally spoke out about what exactly happened which led to the shooting of Jacob Blake. And so they said that basically it started out with a call from a woman who called the police saying that her boyfriend was present and that he was not supposed to be there. That's the extent of what we got as information as to why the police officers went there in the first place. There was then a struggle between the police and Jacob Blake, which was actually filmed on a different angle of the videos we've seen. A struggle that ended up with the police using a taser, but the investigators said that that was unsuccessful. That's when Jacob Blake started walking around his car to open the driver's side door, and that's when the shooting happened. 7 bullets in Jacob Blake from that police officer. Now, the investigators confirmed what the police had said, which was that Blake told them he had a knife. The investigators say that they later found a knife in the car. What is not clear and what the investigators have not said was whether Blake was actively reaching for that gun when he was trying to get in his car. That's not clear yet. And also not clear is why, if he was reaching for the knife or if the knife was visible, why the police officers felt that they needed to use 7 bullets in order to get that situation under control. So still a lot of things to come out of that investigation, but the investigators asked for patience. As to the 17-year-old young man who was arrested yesterday for killing 2 people during a night of a protest, he is still waiting for his extradition hearing because he's in the state of Illinois. A little bit of investigation going on there. Not much is clear yet as to why he went to Kenosha that night. No real clear motivation. Still not clear either whether he was really a part of one of these militias that were patrolling the street. His social media has been investigated, and there were signs that he was very interested in guns, very interested in law enforcement, and very supportive of the Blue Lives Matter, which defends law enforcement and has come out in opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay, some extremely shocking developments, these last 3 or 4 days, and clearly a lot of anger across the United States. And sports people are being particularly vocal and expressing some of that outrage, aren't they?
Yes, and it's taking on a very important message because here in the United States, sports is extremely huge. And it all started with the NBA yesterday, with the Milwaukee Bucks refusing to walk out on the floor. Milwaukee, of course, being the neighboring big city to Kenosha. So they refused to play their playoff games. Soon after that, the NBA itself decided to postpone the other 2 games that was supposed to take place. The WNBA, hours later, the Women's Basketball League. Those games were also postponed. You saw some of the WNBA players kneeling on the floor there with shirts bearing the name of Jacob Blake, with 7 bullet holes painted on those shirts. And now we're hearing some reports that the LA Lakers and LA Clippers, the 2 NBA NBA teams of Los Angeles may have voted to decide to boycott the rest of the playoffs, just the rest of the season. That has yet to be confirmed, and seeing what it will do to the rest of the NBA season. Now, the NBA, of course, has always been at the forefront of the movement for racial justice, but this movement is moving on now to other sports. Yesterday, the Major League Baseball postponed 3 of its games. Major League Soccer, 5 games had to be played yesterday. None of them were played, and it's even reached now tennis with Naomi Osaka, who is Japanese but half black. She decided to cancel and boycott her semifinal at the Western and Southern Open before the U.S. Open, so preparing a tournament in the United States. She refuses to play her semifinal, which was scheduled for today. Following that, the WTA and the ATP decided to suspend all the games that were supposed to be played today in support of this movement.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for that update from Washington. France 24's Kethevane Gorjestani. Thank you.